All right, 3, 2, 1. Perfect. All right, welcome back to Lady on the Street podcast. I'm your host, Priscilla, and you were probably here last week, so thanks for watching. But if you weren't, we're back. We're ready for another episode, and I'm so excited. Today's guest is someone who's grown a full-blown business surrounded on healthy living. Not only does she have her own weight loss products, but she also uses social media to inspire and share motivational thoughts with her followers. One thing that stands out about her is how authentic and truthful she is about her personal journey. She's a self-proclaimed Chicana con ganas, or chingona. And if you ask me, the world can use a whole lot more of that chingona energy. Motivate me, Ashley. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me. I just love that.
Yeah.
Like if that could go on my tombstone, I'm good.
I love it. I have been like just stalking your social media, let me tell you. And all of the stuff that you say, I'm like, she has a point. She has a point. Like, you're so good at this.
Thank you.
I can't wait to hear all about it.
Thank you so much. That means a lot.
Yeah.
Yes.
I watched one of the videos that you have pinned at the top of your TikTok, and it's kind of like a deep dive into your background and all of that. So we're going to get there in just a minute. But first, I want to ask you, I ask all of my guests, what's our drink of choice today? You told me one specific thing.
I just told you vodka.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was like, whatever you got with vodka, I'll drink it.
Vodka. So I was like, what can I give her? So I did tamarindo vodka with pineapple. So
It's so good.
yeah,
I took
here
a
we
sip.
are. Cheers. Thank you for
Cheers to
being
that.
here.
Thank you for having me.
It's like a spicy Mexican candy, which I love.
We're just missing the beach at this point.
Right? Seriously.
Yeah.
I know. I asked you just a moment ago. So Ashley just celebrated her birthday.
Yay, 35.
35.
35.
What are you looking forward to most this year?
You know, just really trusting myself.
Yeah.
Really trusting myself at 35 and embracing whatever God has planned for me. That's what I'm looking forward to.
It's amazing how, like, when you're younger and you think, oh, I always wondered what life was going to be like in my 30s. And I used to think, like, 30 is so old, ill, you know?
Yeah.
But I'm like, life's barely starting, seriously, right?
That's so true. It's crazy to think that we're here, and we used to think that this was such an old age,
Yeah.
you know? We're like, no, girl, we're still hot, we're young, we're
I
feeling
know.
good.
I know. I'm like, I've never felt better, honestly. Like the confidence that comes with age as well.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, at least for me, but
Yes, and I feel like the humbleness that comes with,
yes.
you know, I feel like in your 20s, you're just invincible. You think you know everything. Then you get to your 30s and life just really humbles you. And it's not about what it used to be anymore. And I
Yeah.
love that.
Yeah, no, I feel the same way. So going back to that video that I was telling you, I watched it a couple days ago. It's a deep dive into kind of your life. And so if I were to ask you for the Cliff Notes version of that, tell me just a little bit about your upbringing, if you're okay sharing some of that with people who may not have seen that yet.
Okay, so a little bit about my upbringing was normal, the beginning years for the most part, what I guess I would consider normal. But then my mom got sick when I was 14. She has schizophrenia and bipolar, so that kind of just really changed the whole trajectory of life for me. And then just not having a relationship with my dad and just kind of going through a lot of things I feel like most people wouldn't normally go through. Yeah, just having the in and outs of like the hospital visits with my mom or the psychiatric centers with my mom, and not knowing who I was and just trying to figure that out as a teenager was really hard.
Yeah. We actually talked a little bit about going back to that very crucial age of 14. We crossed paths a little bit in high school. We just kind of like chatted about that briefly.
Yes.
But you mentioned, like, I said, well, I remember you went to school with us, but just for a brief moment, right?
It's yes. So I did go to school at South San for a little bit, maybe a few months. But during that time in high school, I moved around a lot because my mom was sick, and so I was kind of bouncing from my grandma to my dad's to my mom's, and so I was just very lost at that age. And I remember seeing girls like you at school. When I say girls like you, I mean just beautiful, and you guys had like camaraderie and community. I never really felt a part of anything because I was always so embarrassed of my household
Hmm.
issues. And so I was always scared to even make friends because in fear I would move again, or maybe I wouldn't be accepted because nobody truly knew what was going on at home. I didn't know if I brought a friend over what that would look like.
Right.
If my mom was sick or if she would yell, or so that's I was just kind of to myself a lot.
Yeah, and I do remember that. And I have to say, like, I'm so sorry that you went through all of that. Obviously, it's probably had such a huge impact on who you are now.
Mm-hmm.
But to think that, like, even you just from the outside looking in, it's like, I think in high school, a lot of girls, even now, so I would say everybody's got something going on, right? And if we knew better then, we would all use that to kind of rely on each other and be more open about it. But a lot of it comes with that shame. So I'm sorry that you never felt that you had that community or camaraderie, like you said.
Yeah, and
Um,
I'm sure you guys, like you said, everybody goes through things. So if I would have only known, like,
yeah,
that y'all were normal just like me, like that
yeah,
was considered normal to go
yeah,
through stuff. Yeah.
yeah.
And
Oh,
what a full circle moment it is to be sitting here
I
on your
know.
couch doing this podcast. That's like what's going through my head right now. Like, wow, I just went fast forward from 14 to right now, and I'm like, look what you did with your life. Like, you're good. You're
You
okay.
also though, like, gosh, I can't say so. Every time I have not just any guest, obviously, but especially a Latina, a young Latina who is really doing something just great for herself, great for her family. The boundaries, like, are literally whatever you want them to be, but for you to break through what all those glass ceilings that you've broken through, and like, what I'm trying to say is that even though I don't know you on a personal level, like, I am proud of you. You know what I mean?
Thank you so much.
Yeah,
Thank you.
it's hard. So again, we're gonna get into it. So,
Yes.
so Cliff Notes version. You're 14. You ended up dropping out of high school,
I
correct?
did. Yes.
What happened after you dropped out? I know you. You tell me what happened after you dropped out.
So after I dropped out, I was living with my dad at the time, and he gave me a choice. He said it was either I wasn't going to have enough credits to graduate. So he said you either go to work or you get your GED and you try to go to college. School was never for me. It just wasn't. I didn't grasp a lot of things in school.
Hmm.
And so what I knew what I was good at, which was working. So I went to work for my dad. He had a trucking company and I started working in his office. I tried beauty school, dropped out of that, beauty school dropout, living up to its name. But I just knew my work ethic was really strong and that's what I ran with. So I became a mom young. I got married really young because I just wanted to escape,
Yeah.
that childhood. And so that's what I did. And I clung on to like being the best mother that I could for my son and just making sure that he didn't have the life that I did.
Yeah.
I think that was really kind of the foundation for where everything started.
I think it's very important to highlight the fact that, like, some people just have that strong work ethic. I think in our time, like, people, especially me, I'm guilty of it, where I stress college. Like, you got to go to college, you got to finish high school, because in most cases, it's easier to find what you want to do if you have that path. But, like, girl, yeah, this is like living proof that that doesn't always work out for everybody, and you can still make something of yourself.
Yes, and I feel like that's something that I always love to talk about and stress about because I feel like there are a lot of other people like me who maybe, were in school and just never really fit in or thought they were going to become anybody because that's what society said.
Hmm.
But I mean, I'm living proof and I'm sure a lot of other people are living proof that some people like me don't necessarily need school as in college to make something of themselves.
Yeah. So tell me then, how old were you when you had your son?
I was 19.
19.
Yes.
Okay. And then you got married like soon after?
I got married at 19, had my son right going into like 20.
Mm-hmm.
And so my ex-husband and he had a business, and that's kind of where I learned a little bit more about business. But everything was just learn as you go. Like
Mm-hmm.
nobody taught me any of this. It was making mistakes, and that's really where I learned a lot from just making mistakes and
Yeah.
having my son there at the office working with me. And then when I was done with that, I would go and work other office jobs, learn from there. But I always knew that I wasn't made to work for somebody else.
Yeah.
I always knew that. I just always knew in my heart I had bigger ambitions and bigger things I was going to do.
Yeah.
I just didn't know what that was.
So then take me, where did this whole VidaSlim, like the concept of it all is crazy. And I said that correctly, right?
Mm-hmm.
VidaSlim. The concept of it all is crazy to me because I would never think that someone who doesn't have, like, I guess, a background in I don't even know what you would need, like physics or whatever it is, sciences. But like, how did this happen for you? This is amazing.
So I guess, the beginning days of VidaSlim were VidaSlim wasn't even born yet. I was selling weight loss products for another company, and I really enjoyed helping people. That's where my passion came from, was helping people and seeing their faces when they reach their goals. So I would start little things like, I hate to say this, but I would sell, not sell my food stamps. I would buy protein with my food stamps, and then I would make protein shakes and I would sell them at the park. And I would get people to
Savvy.
I would get people to come to the park.
Yeah.
I would give them a workout for like $5.
Yeah.
Add an extra $5 for your shake. And that's how I was kind of making money at the
Yeah.
beginning and selling like little weight loss products that I
Yeah.
had. So I really started to research weight loss products and what people liked, what people needed. And that's kind of how VidaSlim started. It started with a dream, but everything kind of just came to me. I'd go to sleep at night and my ideas would come, like the name, what was going to come out next, what my office looked like, where I was going to be. It was a lot of manifestation for me.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm really good at manifesting in my head and making things come to reality.
Yeah. And I think so I like that you brought up the part about you using what you had
Mm-hmm.
to create something bigger, right? Food stamps. Like there are so many people that are probably relying on that. They need that to just make it in life because shit's expensive, like, and so I've never even thought that people could really use it to benefit them in that way.
Neither did I. But
But
when when your back is against a corner and
yeah,
you don't have many resources, you use what you can in those moments. And
yeah,
so that's what I did. And I remember those broke days. I think what always stuck with me was I was never a quitter, and I always knew God had a better plan for me. And so I was just gonna make do with what I had. And I think that he blessed me because like I didn't complain in those moments. I
yeah,
didn't throw my hands up. I didn't give up. I just kept going and used what I had.
yeah. Well, and then to even just come up with like, you're so savvy, I just have to say, to come up with the concept of like, I'm going to give you a workout class, buy my protein. Like, you are a businesswoman, let me tell you.
And I even sold the protein
Yeah,
shakes too.
yeah.
I mean, but you do what you have to do, you
Yeah,
know?
I think that a lot of people, not a lot of people think that way though. Like it's easier to give up than to figure out a way. And it seems like you always have figured out a way, right?
Yes.
So what year was it then when you really developed VidaSlim?
I started VidaSlim in 2017,
Mm-hmm.
and that was really a make or break for me. It was either I was going to believe in myself because I didn't have another income,
Mm-hmm.
or I was not going to do it, one or the other. And when you only have one source of income and you're depending on yourself, that takes a lot of guts to do. But I believed in myself and I believed in what I was doing, even though other people didn't believe in me, especially the people around me. Family, close friends, everybody's like, "What are you doing? You don't have an education. You didn't go to college. How are you going to run a business?" And I just knew that I could. I knew that I could because I had good products and I had a good mindset and I had a good business model.
Yeah.
So,
And failure is not an option for you.
that's good that you say that. Failure is not an option. I failed a lot of times in my business,
Mm-hmm.
even personally, even in my marriages, but you just keep going even
Right.
with failure.
Yeah.
So it wasn't an option, it happened, but you still keep
You keep
going.
going. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. Like you get up and you try again.
Yeah.
So it's like, who sings that song? I can't, Aaliyah. At first you don't succeed.
Yep. Dust yourself off and try
Yeah.
again.
It's going to be like in my head now.
Yes.
No, well, so this is crazy though. So tell me a little bit about the products that you offer. So you offer, I saw gummies, you have powders, you have, if people aren't familiar with VidaSlim.
Yes, so we offer natural weight loss supplements. We offer protein shakes. I mean, my line started from one product to now we have like 15 products, and every year I come out with like two or three more products. And I try to choose a lot of natural, no dyes, no additives, things that are low in sugar, low in carbs, because I know that especially in our culture, that's very much needed.
Yeah. Yeah. And so then tell me, you mentioned in one of your videos that I also see, a lot of things that you're posting are also like, I'd say mini motivational speeches, right? They're like little vlogs of your, I guess, personal encounters or things that you've gone through where you're kind of sharing with people. And I love them. One of them is like when you're starting a business, you're not going to get support from those that are closest to you.
Yes.
What has the response been? And now that you are kind of really in it, has your family or those that are closest to you come around to say like, oh, she did know what she was doing?
Ooh, that's a good one. A lot of them still don't support me.
Really?
Yes, and even more so because I think that cat got their tongue. Like,
Yeah.
I did everything that I sought out to do, and they didn't believe in me. So I don't talk to a lot of family for that reason, and mainly because they don't want to come around. I feel like when you have high vibrations and you want good things out of life, if people are not operating in that same manner, then they don't want to be around you.
Yeah.
So it's unfortunate, but I feel like when you have a business, you will definitely find your people and your tribe, and you will see who was never for you from the beginning anyway.
Yeah. Well, I'm sorry that they haven't come around, but it's shame on them. It's more, they're probably more embarrassed that,
I would
like,
I would think so. I
yeah.
would think so.
Well, good for you though. So tell me, what is your favorite thing about being a business owner?
My favorite thing is the freedom of time,
Hmm.
which when you're a business owner, you don't really have a lot of time, right? Because you're always doing things. But
I
I'm
bet.
talking about with my kids.
Yeah.
Like I get to pick up my kids from school. I get to go to, all of their, when they go on field trips, and I get to chaperone and do things like that. I feel like I don't know how I would do that in the real world. I mean, you have to ask for days off and you have to ask somebody for permission. With all the strain that comes with the business, I wouldn't trade it for anything because I get to have more time with my kids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so great. You're right. You have to ask for permission, but that goes back to you saying like I could never see myself working for someone. So
Oh,
it worked out for
it
you.
it did. I've done it before, and it all led me here. So I'm very, very grateful.
Yeah. No, that's good. How many employees do you have with your business?
Right now, I actually have the least amount of employees I've ever had in business, which right now we're at about maybe 8, 10,
Yeah.
between 8 and 10. And before, I mean, I've had up to like 25 people working inside of my office.
Yeah.
So I think just really finding core people to work with, but alongside you, is really what it's about. It's not about numbers, how many people you have.
Oh,
When I was
yeah,
younger, I
no.
used to think, oh, I just need all these people, so we can get
Right.
it going. But it's not about that. It's quality over quantity.
Yeah, exactly. You got to have people that are like on the same mindset as you. They want success for your business as well. I guess what I want to know too is so you're located near the airport right now?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, oh, we moved. So we're off of San Pedro, kind of by North Star Mall.
Ah, okay,
Yeah.
okay. Okay, so by very busy location.
Yes. Thank God.
Are you operating more, I guess, now that you're what, how many years is that? Almost 6, 7 years into it, right?
Since 2017.
What is it more so like word of mouth, social media? How are people learning about VidaSlim?
It's more than anything, it's been social media
Mm-hmm.
because I mean, we do have a really good customer base here in San Antonio, but a lot of the people who take VidaSlim are all over. I say the world because we do get orders from a little bit of everywhere. Of course, mostly here in the United States, but we ship from coast to coast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is crazy. Did you ever dream that it would be this big for you?
I know this sounds so nuts. I just, ever since I was a little girl, I just knew that like this, like I was made for big things.
Yeah.
So when I'm doing them, when all of this is happening, it just makes sense. Like this is my path. Like there's sometimes where I even think like, no, we're not there yet. Like we still need to reach the next thing and the
Mm-hmm.
next thing. It's never ending because I've always felt that even when I was like 7. I'm like, yeah, one day I'm gonna be famous. One day people are gonna know me. Like
I love
I don't know. It's
that.
like I just feel it,
Yeah, it's that internal drive. So when you were little then, I mean, everybody has like aspirations when they're little. What did you want to be when you were young?
I wanted to be, I thought I was going to be another Selena, but my voice said otherwise. So I guess that's why God gave me working hands because the voice wasn't there.
Not him nodding yes over there.
I still sing in the shower, and maybe one day I can make it to American Idol if I take singing classes.
You know what? For some reason, you give me the vibe where like if you put your mind to singing classes, I bet you could do it.
Girl, don't tempt me because I might. It's so funny because the other day, I think it was like last week sometime, I was literally Googling like singing classes in San Antonio. I'm like, I'm
Mhm.
gonna do this. My voice sucks right now, but maybe one day. My husband thinks I'm crazy.
No, but I bet he supports every bit of it.
I don't know how, but he sure does.
Yeah, I
He
love
really
that.
does. I think that's why him and I work so well, because he feeds into my drive, my passion, my dreams, and I'm like, yeah, you think that's a good idea? I'm gonna go for it. He's over there like, oh my god.
I love that. I'm gonna ask you about some of that stuff too. Oh my gosh. Okay. Okay, so she wanted to be a singer, y'all, but it's still in progress.
I think y'all don't want me to be a singer. If you
The
heard my voice, you wouldn't want me to,
the
but who
dream's
knows?
not dead. I
Yeah.
have faith in you. Okay, tell me then, we're talking about like word of mouth, your products, social media. What would you say is your favorite thing about social media?
The amount of lives that I get to touch through social media is my favorite thing. Social media is so powerful.
Mm-hmm.
It's so amazing. I was talking to my husband yesterday, and I was telling him how crazy it is. I go somewhere and like people recognize me. We
Yeah.
went to the concert yesterday. Somebody knew who I was. I've been going places and people are like, "You're from, TikTok and I follow you." And I'm kind of blows my mind, because when I post these videos, I post them because like I just need to get these words out of my chest for to help somebody else, but I never realized like how much of an impact it truly makes.
Mm-hmm.
So that part for me is really crazy.
Yeah. Then, I mean, again, I think it's because what you're saying resonates with a lot of people. And I think that goes back to you being so honest and truthful about where you're at in life. And also not like full circle, but also full circle. If there's more of that when you're younger, then you and I and the girls in high school could have connected. You know what I mean? If you
Mhm.
just are so authentic. With what you're going through and how you're doing in life. People relate to it and people, I think, cling to it. So yeah, it's no wonder that people are recognizing you, and because your words, they matter, and
Thank you.
yeah, they matter and they make a difference. Okay, so on the flip side, what do you not like about social media?
I think like anybody else who puts themselves out there on social media, I don't like the hate. Like the hate comments, I could not, not have those and be perfectly fine.
Yeah. Do you read them a lot?
I don't, not anymore. I used to. Now I only read them if I know like I'm going to comment back or do
Mm-hmm.
a comment video, because I get paid from those. So I'm like,
Yeah.
hey, if you're gonna say something negative, I'm gonna turn this around and I'm gonna get paid from this video and go buy me some Starbucks.
There you
Like,
go, right?
but other than that, I really don't read them, just because I know when people post mean things on the internet about you, it's a true reflection of how they feel inside. And so I know that that has nothing to do with me and
Right.
more so with them. So I'm perfectly fine with
Yeah,
it.
I'm also like, get a hobby. If you're like
Please.
there sitting behind your phone, just posting mean things, like get a hobby for
Yes.
real. Okay, so were you shy growing up, or have you always had this big, shiny, bright personality?
No, I think I was shy.
Yeah?
I think even today still, people assume that
Mm-hmm.
I'm very outgoing and very out there, but I think I'm a mix,
Mm-hmm.
because I'm very much like a homebody, or I kind of keep to myself a lot, but then on social media I'm just out there.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like I'm a mix of both, but growing up I think I was also a mix of both. I was, singing in my room, doing all the dance moves to what was it, Destiny's Child.
Mm-hmm.
My
Mm-hmm.
mom would record me. So I was outgoing in that way, but very shy and very reserved at school. I think because I wasn't given that, I didn't have that foundation of confidence.
Yeah.
So it came later on in life.
I'm so surprised that you exude confidence. So,
Thank you.
um, yeah, I guess I ask that because, again, going back to like you sharing your thoughts and stuff, I know you said you're just trying to get them off your chest, but you're pretty good at public speaking in that aspect. So, have you done like actual public speaking, or have you kept it mainly to social?
I've done one public speaking event with Christina. I
Hmm.
think you've had her
Oh,
on your.
yeah.
Mhm.
Yes.
She
Hmm.
invited me to speak at one of her events.
Yeah.
And so I was really excited about that and very nervous because I had never done it outside of the camera before.
Yeah.
So that was new for me. But I love when I get to do things that shake me up and
Yeah.
scare me, because I know that those are good for growing. So I feel like I did really well. Now I
Yeah.
want to do more. I'm like, whoever else wants.
You're like, have me on. She'll sing too.
Yeah.
Did you go was it this year that you did her
It was
event?
last
Last
year.
year?
Hmm.
I love Christina. Shout out to Christina. She's also doing some really good things with the Latina women who own businesses here and things of that nature. So love
Yes,
that.
I admire her. She's such a beautiful soul.
The hustle, like, oh my gosh. And literally it's called Hustle and Socialize, but social butterfly gal, Christina, full of hustle, like
Yes.
you. Okay, so because you're putting these videos out, and we talked about some of the hate, but like, what has the response mostly been to you making yourself vulnerable online?
I think a lot of people love that
Hmm.
because there's not a lot of that on social media right now, at least from what I can see. And I feel they can relate to it so much. And I think that's another thing that really surprises me is how relatable my videos are. It makes me feel like, oh my God, like there's other people that go through this too, which I feel like we all assume that sometimes we're the only person going through our trauma or whatever it is that we're dealing with. So it feels good to know that I'm not by myself. But also feels good to know that there's other people who see my videos and I get messages all the time. Thank you for helping me. Your video has changed my life. Like that really drives me. That's like the best thing ever.
Yeah. Do you have like a favorite, I guess, is there a time where you had a response that you're like, this really stands out to me? This really makes me feel like I've made a difference in some way, shape, or form. Is there one video?
Yes. Well, I wouldn't say one video, but there was one moment
Mm-hmm.
pertaining to a video. So, a girl that I went to high school with, I went to Somerset as well for a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And a girl that I hadn't talked to since high school, she messages me and she says, "Hey, Ashley, I was in line at HEB and I overheard this lady behind me talking about a girl on social media named Motivate Me Ashley. She was talking about somebody else, talking to somebody else about you. So it piqued her interest. And the lady was saying how my videos basically saved her life because I think she was thinking about committing and that somehow my videos have helped her by her watching those videos of motivation. And so for me that was like insane. That
Yeah.
was insane. And she messaged me, she said, "I just think that you needed to know that your videos really do make an impact on people."
Yeah.
And so for me that was just very mind-blowing, and it just made me want to continue to keep spreading whatever it is I have in my heart.
Yeah. I love it. And again, it's like all these things that you're sharing, it's not like you're writing them out and reading them or anything. It's just
Mm-mm.
very much from the heart, and you can tell. That's incredible. I think people underestimate the power of social media. Like, depending on who you're talking with, they're just like, oh, it's just TikTok, or oh, it's just Instagram. But like the reach that you have, you can literally reach people across all around the world, and you never know, what video is going to catch and what video is going to do something for someone. So that's
Yes,
incredible.
thank you. A
Yeah.
lot of the times people will tell me, like, do you think about this prior to saying these things? And I don't. But one thing I do have to say is I can't take full credit for what comes out of my mouth because there are days where I will record it and then I'll be done and I'm like, God, where did that come from? Because sometimes I really feel like it's not me. Like sometimes I feel like it comes from God or my angels or the higher power
Hmm.
because it's not always like coming from my brain. At least that's how I feel.
Yeah.
Some of them are, and some of them are like, I'm just like, thank God, because
Yeah.
somebody needed the words today, but I can't take all the credit.
Yeah. Oh, that's sweet of you. Again, you are humble. And like, I know what you're talking about though, when you've said something, you go through like a whole thing and then you're like, what did I just say?
Hmm.
Yeah.
I'll even pull over in the car because it just starts going in my head, and I literally pull over and I'll just record,
Yeah.
and then I'm done. I'm like, I guess that was the message for today. I didn't even know it either.
Yeah, no, that's so funny. Yeah, you're like, thank you, God,
Yes.
right? Okay, so on your social, we see a lot of like Ashley, who she is on social. We see how motivational you are, how driven you are. What at least I didn't see much of was Ashley as a mom and
Hmm.
Ashley as a wife.
Hmm.
Is that intentional? Do you like to keep your personal life a little bit private?
Very much so.
Yeah.
Very much so. I think people would sometimes even think I'm single or I don't have kids, but I actually have 4 kids, 2 dogs, a purple gecko, a husband, might even get some cows and chickens. I don't know.
He's like, I don't
No.
know.
but I do like to keep my personal life a little more on the private side. And that's mainly, of course, to protect my kids,
Right.
their privacy, because I feel like my social media is growing and a lot of people do know who I am. And so that's why I do that.
Yeah.
I leave those. If my kids are okay with it, I will post them. But other than that, like we like to keep the family stuff aside.
Excuse me. Yeah, no, I get that. I guess, can I ask a little bit? And if if you don't want to answer, you don't have to. But how old are your kids?
So we have a 15-year-old, a 14-year-old, a 10-year-old, and a 9-year-old.
Okay, so they're all pretty grown.
Yes.
Yeah.
So the boys, there three of them are boys,
Mhm.
all the older ones, and then my little one is a girl.
Oh.
Yes. And Josh and I have tried to have kids together because we're a blended family. So I came with two, Josh came with two, but we've been unsuccessful with that. We've had we've lost a few babies. So hopefully when the time is right, we're thinking about doing IVF.
Yeah.
But we're very much like hands-on parents. I
Yeah.
mean, we're doing football games. People wouldn't know that about me. Like I'm out
Right.
there I'm a football mom.
Yeah.
I'm doing the sports with the kids. Like that's basically my whole life aside from social media and work is my family.
Yeah. No, and well, 3 boys. I mean, hello, football. Yeah.
Yes, 2 high schoolers. Oh my God. And I think you.
She's starting high school this
Yeah.
year. I keep telling Andy, I'm like, I don't feel like we are old enough to have a high school student, but I
know.
mean, yeah, I don't know. I'm not ready to let go. I'm like, how does this work? Do I drop her off? Am I like wishing her good luck? Is she going to be embarrassed? Like,
Yes, I feel the same way. I
Yeah.
feel like they're at that age where everything is so cringe to them.
Cringe. Yeah, I know. I was laughing too because I saw you're like, you see the way I come home from work, very demure. I saw your video, and that's all I keep saying. And Bailey, my oldest, is just like, oh my God, here she goes again.
We're so embarrassing to
Yeah,
them, right?
Just like, it's so demure. Very
Sometimes
mindful.
Doesn't it make you feel old?
Yes.
The fact that they think that everything we do is embarrassing, because I think we're pretty cool.
I would say so too. And also, so I also find myself telling her, because I don't know if you remember back in high school, I remember you dressing like super cute. You always had good style. But
Thank
we would
you.
wear a lot of like frilly skirts and the
Yes.
belts, and
Yes.
those skirts are coming back. And so I catch myself and I'm like, I used to wear these in high school, Bailey, and I'm like, oh, I'm cringing at myself because I'm like, shut up, she doesn't need to know that, I'm like, play it cool, just be cool.
It's so hard to think that we're not the cool ones
I
anymore.
know. I'm like, what do you mean I'm not cool? Yes, I am.
But I remember because you hung out in the group of girls who were the coolest girls at school.
Stop. I don't
Everybody needs to know.
Please. I'm like, you hear that, Bailey?
Y'all had like your matching shirts for Spirit Week and all kinds of crazy stuff.
Oh, we did. I forgot about that.
Were you a cheerleader?
Uh-huh.
Okay, yeah, so that's why. I'm like, yeah, you're the cool girl.
No. Yeah, no, but it's funny though. I'm going out shopping now and I'm like, I would have bought this. I'm like, can I still wear this? I don't know.
I feel like we still can. We can still rock it.
Yeah, you have really good style.
Thank you.
I love it. And again, I was just telling you too, not me just like throwing the compliments, but like I'm just fangirling over here. Your hair is gorgeous.
Thank you so much.
You said you barely started embracing it though.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
Because I've had this hair since I was born, but it was only until this year I said, you know what? I'm leaving the straightener behind.
Yeah.
I gotta let it go because it was so damaging to my hair.
Mm-hmm.
And I just said, I'm just gonna embrace my curls and let it be. And this is the most confident I have been.
Really?
It's so weird. I'm like, yeah, this is who I am. Like,
Yeah.
this is who I am.
It's good. Not everybody has curls like that, I really like it.
Thanks.
So, okay, so we were talking about having kids. You're a football mom. Let's get to marriage a little bit. How long have you been married to Josh, you said, right?
Yes.
Okay.
We have been married for going on 2 years in December.
Okay.
It was fast.
How did y'all meet?
We met on, I was going to say Tinder, but it was not Tinder. He was on Bumble and I DM'd him on Instagram.
Ooh, you reached out.
I reached out.
Yeah.
Well, I followed him. I started following him.
Mm-hmm.
And then he followed me back, and it was that's so crazy. It was one of my motivational videos that I posted on my story, and he reached out to me and he said, thanks for the motivation, and made me go out for a run. Like he went out for a run that day.
Yeah.
And so that's how we started talking.
Ooh, look at you. I tell you, you don't know who you're gonna reach, girl.
I know. I
You,
even
you,
I met the love of my life doing my motivational videos. That's so crazy.
I know, like you manifested your husband.
Yes. And then we went on a couple of dates, and 3 months later we were engaged, or 3 months later he proposed to me on a
Wow.
trip in Mexico. We were just I just knew. He made me laugh. He wasn't like my typical type. I'm like, yeah, he's the one.
Yeah.
He's the one. He still is the one.
Oh, I
He's
love
so
that.
supportive. He's a God-fearing man. He has helped me become the best version of myself. I was lost before I met him.
Really?
Yeah, I was like living in this world,
Yeah.
just drinking a lot, kind of
Yeah.
lost. And he showed me a different way of living, and I'm so grateful to him.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Okay, and you said that was 2 years ago.
Well, we met 3 years ago, been married almost 2
2 years.
years. Yeah.
Okay. That's amazing.
Thank
And
you.
it's a blended family. So how has that been navigating, like blending families?
Oh, it's been hard. It's been hard. Like, if I'm being real, I don't think anybody like tells you how hard it is to bring someone else's kids in, and then just doing the whole mix.
Mm-hmm.
Then the kids got to get along. Like, it's a lot, and it took a lot of learning for us how to co-parent, or not co-parent, but parent each other's kids,
Mm-hmm.
how to be on the same playing field. A lot of things have to align, and you really have to give grace to each other. And put your own feelings aside sometimes too, to hear the other person out.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we're doing it. We're doing it. It's come a long way.
Yeah.
Yes.
I bet that so marriage is already hard on its own, and like raising, even your own kids, making sure that you agree. But I bet that dynamic is a little bit more complicated to get through. But it seems like you guys are very strong
Yes.
and support each other. I can see he's here now. He's back there. You can't see him, but he's just like gleaming at her with with love. I see it. But you and we talked about this a little bit. Your birthday just passed. You guys had like a date night last night.
Yeah, we had a date night. We went to Grupo Frontera. I
Mm-hmm.
love Spanish music, country music. So Josh and I have the same taste in music.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know. I see that you post even that like where you're dancing and yeah.
Yes.
So good taste in music. I love Bobby Pulido. I love Grupo Frontera
Ooh.
as well. So I'm like, we're kind of like on the same vibe when it comes to that.
Yes.
I guess when somebody doesn't know you and they're getting to know you for the first time, what's something that you think would surprise them about you?
Wow. I feel like I'm misread a lot when
Really?
people first meet me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I feel like people think that I'm maybe uptight, or what's the word, that I'm like, I think I'm all that, or I think people sometimes assume that about me. I think they'd be surprised to know that I'm actually really goofy, really laid back. I'm not maybe who they think that I really am.
Yeah. That goes with social media, right? People form
Yes.
opinions without really even knowing you.
Yes. A
Yeah.
lot of my videos with my makeup or my cute outfits, that's like maybe like 25% of me. Most of the time, I'm in a big t-shirt,
Yeah.
just, like lounge clothes. I'm just not that high maintenance, I guess, what people would assume.
Yeah. No, that's funny. That is funny. Not that you seem high maintenance, but like, yeah, people just form opinions with the little bits that you share with your life.
And I would think I'm funny, right, babe? Am I funny?
Is she really though, or do you have to say that?
Goofy. How about goofy?
Goofy.
Goofy. I'm
Yeah,
goofy.
no,
Yeah.
I love that. Well, good. I'm glad. I commend you guys like keeping the kids private and making a conscious effort. I was having a conversation about this the other day, actually yesterday, about how hard that is, especially like them having high schoolers and older ones, them exposing how they can expose themselves to social media, no matter how much you try to like keep them off of it and all that. Navigating that for me is still so complicated. But yeah, I don't know. It's hard to keep them off, but you have to make that conscious effort. So
Yes, I feel like our older boys, they have social media. They're very mature for their age, but they're very not. In the sense, like, kids think that they're so smart.
oh yeah.
They think they know
Mm-hmm.
everything. They think they're invincible. But I think with Josh and I, and then also my ex-husband, we're all very good at working together with the kids.
Yeah.
And so I feel like having those open conversations and just letting them know, like, look, we've been through that, we've done it, and you truly have that space where you're not going to be judged and you can talk about anything, to allow them to know that we're always going to be there for them, so they don't get caught up in the social media hype world, friends, drugs, or any of that. We try to have those open conversations without being so judgmental.
Yeah, no, I think that's important because for me, I always want to make sure that I'm like, you're like giving them the rules, but also like come to me for anything. I don't care if you broke a rule, like still come to me, Not that I don't care, but like I want that. I always know when I was younger, I always felt nervous to come to my mom because I was just like so scared. Oh, I did something wrong. But I'm like, please just come to me,
Yes.
Yeah. Do they see any of your social media stuff? How's that for them?
Oh my God. Yes, they do. So we have each other on social media.
Yeah.
That's how much my kids like love me. Like they love us.
I love it.
But they do cringe at my social media sometimes. And my son, a lot of his friends follow me on social media. I don't know why. If you guys are watching, I don't know why y'all follow me. But he always says, like, Mom, like, don't post that. My friends follow you. I'm like, boy, your high school friends have no business following me.
Yeah.
Your 35-year-old mom. But I'm like the hot mom to them.
Say that's why they're following you.
Yes. But, sometimes my son will tell me, Mom, please take that video off. Please take that video off.
Yeah.
And so I do, out of respect for him, because some of this, I don't know. I think if I'm dancing and twerking, it's funny, but to him, it's not funny. So I'll come to middle ground with him and I'll take it off so I don't embarrass him.
Yeah. Oh, that's funny. That's hilarious. They're following you just to give him crap about it, right? Like,
yes.
No, yeah, that's crazy, but it makes sense that they're like, everybody's always watching. You have to assume everybody's watching and hearing and all the things. So, I guess what would you say, was that more fun for you? Like not the business part? What's your favorite thing to use your social media for then? Is it best for your business or is it a multitude of all the things?
It's a multitude, but my favorite thing is doing my motivational videos.
Yeah.
That's like if I could do that for a living, I would totally do that.
Yeah.
Because I feel like I'm really good at it.
Yeah.
I thrive in it. So my social media is the fun part of my day. Mm-hmm. And then the not so fun part is like the business part, the taxes, like doing all the firing people, not fun stuff.
Yeah.
The day-to-day operations. But I feel like social media just goes hand in hand with what I do. And so I'm very grateful that I have that.
I think that there is a world where you could use your business like to make that aspect of your day-to-day like go further. But think of like Herbalife, right?
Mm-hmm.
People have these massive conferences. Like VidaSlim could be that.
Yes.
Where you are speaking to the masses of the people that are like selling your products and all of that, know?
I can envision that.
Yeah.
That is a dream. So one thing I forgot to tell you is I do have about 200 people who sell my products across the nation. So it's like a that.
Mm-hmm.
But one day I definitely see that. People always ask me like, what's next? What's your dream? My dream is for VidaSlim to become a household name.
Yeah.
Just like other companies are.
Yeah.
And I know it can get there.
And it can. And I think that you have some stuff to leverage because of your background, because of who you were growing up. Like people, again, will gravitate towards that and support you, not just by liking a video, but like buying your products. Like that's the support that I think you can really leverage using just who you are as a person. I think it like kind of sells itself with that. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
Not just because it's good, the product itself, but like people want to support the person behind it is what I'm trying to say.
The story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. No, that's awesome. Well, I wish you nothing but the best of luck in that.
Thank you so much.
And it's not just the products. It's not just VidaSlim. You have like a boutique at your shop, correct?
I do.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So how are you doing all of this?
I don't know. I even, my sister, she became a realtor.
Yeah.
I told my husband, that's like what my next venture, he's like, are you crazy? Like you are already so busy,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how I find the time to do everything. But one thing I do know is I always tell myself, like, life is too short to not take the risk, not take the chances, to not do what you want to do.
Mm-hmm.
So do it, because you're never going to regret doing it.
Mm-hmm.
You're always going to regret not doing it. So that's why I put my hands in everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's awesome. Well, I got to swing by this business. Again, it's over by North Star Mall, so San Pedro area.
Mm-hmm.
I'll put all the details in like the description and everything like that. But yeah, I'm excited to see what the next couple of years offer to you and what you make of them, because you're just going to keep putting your hands in all these buckets.
Yes, thank you. I'm very excited too, and I think that's the good thing is just not knowing where the next step is gonna lead me. Just knowing that the world is literally our oyster, and we can do whatever it is that we want to do.
Speaking of doing whatever it is that we want to do, what's something that's on your bucket list? You have like a top three of a bucket list?
I do. I really, really just want to. The next thing for me is doing, like, I see myself getting on a stage and doing motivational talks in front of a group of people and traveling like around America doing that.
Mm-hmm.
It seems far-fetched, but I just keep seeing that vision playing in my head. I'm wearing like a pantsuit and like I'm just talking. And people are just motivated and they're buying tickets. I'm like, that's what I want to do.
We're going to go ahead and clip this. And when it happens, you're going to do a side by side, because I can see you doing it as well. So, and like the thing is too, that the internet offers so much space for everyone. So like the outlet is there. It's just a matter of you finding where you're going to like insert yourself to do that.
Yes.
Whether it's you creating it yourself, or you're coming on to do something like the way Christina had you on. I know she's done like the TED Talk thing.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe that's something that you would explore. But yeah, it's like I can't wait to see you do that. That's incredible. You've got big dreams, and I think that you will be a person who can accomplish all of them. Because you just put your mind to it, and it seems like things are happening.
Thank you so much. But I always want to instill that in other people.
Yeah.
Because people look at me and they're like, how did she do that? Or, she's so different from me. I could never. But I think that's when, if I could leave behind anything, it would be that. It would be that I have nothing different in me that you don't already have in yourself. And you can do anything that I can do, if not even better.
Yeah. Well, and I did see also that you do not gatekeep. Like some of your videos are giving people advice on how they're starting their business, what they should and shouldn't do. And that's important, because I think we're living in a time where never before you can find all of that information just at your fingertips, right? Like,
Yes.
and I don't know how it was for you navigating opening a business from scratch. I don't know if you had background in that or you saw somebody do it, but like, the fact that you help people just with the little details, it's the details that matter, things that people don't think about when they're opening a business. And you kind of touch on that in some of your videos. So like, you're just helping people in more ways than one.
I do. I try because I feel like it took me, it took me 7 years to get to where I'm at, which is not a lot of time for some people in the grand scheme of things. But even, for example, my wholesalers, the people who sell my products, I do a lot of education with them, even from teaching them how to use TikTok to boost their VidaSlim business and things like that. I never want to gatekeep, because I feel like it benefits them. It also benefits me. And just having people know that they can do these things, that there's not a secret to it. You just got to know. You just got to know. Once you know, then you can take it and run with it.
Yeah. And it's also like, one thing that people have always said is like, you bring up a point where you say you got to know. Like, I can remember growing up, people would say like, it's all about who you know.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And so I feel like for the Latino community in particular, a lot of times we don't know a lot of the right people. And so people like you, again, people like Christina, people that are networking and putting this information out there, it helps build that community for somebody who may not have had that before, right? If you don't have that, it's like people, normally that's for the wealthy, I think. But you guys have a wealth of information. And so I think that you're really giving back to the Latino community in that. It's like, well, I may not have somebody who opened a business in my life where I can learn from, but I'm turning to Ashley, or I'm turning to another person that is relatable, that I see they can do it, and I feel like I can do it as well. So it's like, you're kind of like, it's who you know, they know you did it. You know what I mean?
Exactly. And I feel like that what you're saying is so true when it comes to the Latino community, especially not supporting each other.
Mm-hmm.
Growing up, I saw a lot of that even within our own family. A lot of tias who don't even like their their nieces or their nephews or
Right.
people not wanting to see you succeed. And I always knew that that's not what I was going to do with my platform or my abilities. I was always going to use it to motivate and inspire and to help other people, because that's what I want to get rid of in our culture,
Yeah.
is the always trying to push each other down. Like, let's
Mm-hmm.
build a community of men and women who thrive off of seeing their family members or their friends becoming successful, because we can all learn from each other.
Yeah.
And you never know, like, I'm up today, but what if I'm not tomorrow? And maybe,
Mm-hmm.
I feel like we can all learn and pull each other up.
Well, thank you for sharing all of this. I do have to ask, just because my curiosity gets the best of me sometimes. We talked about it in the beginning, but how is your mom?
My mom is doing good right now. We've had a long journey. So my mom has been sick since I was 14, and she still gets sick every year. She goes through manic episodes. So it's still something that I deal with today. And it's still very, very hard on my family, but she's my mom and I'm always going to love her. And just, I guess I always share the bad parts about it, but the good part that I never share is that despite the challenges that I went through with my parents and not being close to them or having their support mostly growing up, all of those obstacles made me the woman I am today.
Mm-hmm.
All of those challenges. And so for that, I'm very grateful, and um, I'm thankful to my parents, because with or without their support, whatever we went through, like, it got me here.
Yeah.
So I'm grateful for that.
Yeah, that's a good way of looking at it. I'm glad to hear that she's doing better and she's still in your life,
Yes.
as much as she can be in whatever capacity that is. But do you have siblings as well?
I do.
Are
I
you-
have I have to use my fingers. I'm like, I don't know. 4, 5. I have 5 siblings.
Are you close with them?
I used to be close with them, and we're not as close as we are anymore. I'm close to my sister.
Mm-hmm.
I'm close to my sister. A lot of us kind of went our separate ways, especially because of me building my business.
Mm-hmm.
That kind of, you find out who your real friends and family are.
Mm-hmm.
But I am close to my sister. I love her, and my brothers are. I'm close in some ways, and in some of them I'm not so close
Yeah.
with. Yeah, but
Yeah.
I mean, I would do anything for them. I'm the oldest. So
Oh.
even though we don't get along sometimes, even though maybe, we have our falling outs, they could call me today
Yeah.
and be needing a rescue, and I would be there
Yeah.
without a doubt, without even thinking twice. So
Spoken like a true older sister, right?
Yep.
It feels like just getting to know you a little bit more, like you're very much a caretaker. And it seems like the dynamic between your husband and you, he kind of helps take care of you a little bit.
He does.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like because I never had not that he's like my caretaker, right? But
No, but I mean like that. I don't even know what the word is that I'm looking for, but
he brings that masculine energy.
right.
No, but I have been a caretaker my whole life. I've been an older sister, caretaker to my mom. I've always had to play that role. And finding my husband, I was able to just be me.
Yeah.
And that felt so good. Like, no, he didn't ask me for any, usually
Yeah.
people ask me, can you help me? Can you do this? I was that person, and he just wanted my love.
Yeah.
I'm like, is it that easy?
Oh, stop.
Even that's hard sometimes, though, right? He's like, I don't know, but
I mean, like, do we have time to get into it? Like, marriage is so tough. I
no.
used to talk in some of the previous episodes, I would get into like marriage and a lot of that. And I would find that the one commonality I can say between all the people that I've talked to about their social media and navigating it, we can all say that we share all of the best parts on social for the most part, right? Rarely is it that we're sharing the behind the scenes, especially in a marriage, like of the nitty gritty when you're having that argument, that kind of thing. But that doesn't mean that it doesn't happen.
Exactly.
And it's okay that we're not sharing those things, right? Because you don't want to let just everybody into your life in that way. But it happens, and marriage is tough.
Yes, it is. I will say this: my husband and I are going to. It's a thing at church. It's called Reengage. We go to a community Bible church on the north side.
Love it there.
Have you been there?
I used to go there all the time. Yeah.
We love it. Pastor Ed he's a great pastor. And we go every Tuesday, and it really just grounds us in our marriage and making God number one. And I feel like without God as your foundation in your marriage, like, I just don't know how good that could really be. And so marriage hasn't been perfect. It is hard.
Yeah.
especially getting to know each other. We jumped into it, then had a blended family at that, and work and all of that. So he's my best friend, and I love him to death. And I'm glad that I have a partner who's doing life with me, who knows how important it is to put God first and have a foundation.
Yeah. Stop. You're gonna make me cry. No, I think so. And I think if we can end one thing on marriage, it's hard, but it's worth it, you know?
So worth it.
It is worth it. Like the payoff of just having your person, you know? So worth it. I love you, babe.
And you guys have been together since high school.
Yeah.
I mean, when you talk about testing a marriage, y'all have grown up together.
We have.
Seasons together.
Yes.
Like, that's beautiful.
It's crazy. I can't, like, sometimes yeah, Bailey is 14 and Andy and I met when we were 14. And I'm like,
wow.
What were we thinking? You know, it worked out for us and stuff. And I'm like, Bailey, you cannot meet your future husband right now. Like, like no one was watching us, you know, like,
yeah, it's crazy to think she's at that age where y'all met.
Yeah, no, it's so crazy. Much different lives that we live compared to like that she lives compared to where we were at when we were her age. But it's good. I think it's important. And I think, again, like having your kids see how you guys are with each other and the support that he brings you and you bring him, so important, you know, especially in a time where social media is around. Like, it's so easy for people to get jealous or to be comparing or to be like, and I don't get this, I don't know y'all that well, but like, I don't get the sense that that's there. So I think that that's really important and it's special. So
yes.
And y'all are protecting it. So good.
Yes. Believe me, he doesn't like when guys leave comments on my videos. Like,
oh, right.
He could do without that.
Yeah, but I'm like, he could, I'm sure. But I mean, he's not like stopping you from being who you are. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh, she's the same?
He wants me to say that. I'm the same way.
Yeah. I know. It's funny because I'm like, I'm not a jealous person. And then I'll catch myself reacting and I'm like, am I a jealous person? I don't know. Like,
I know that I am.
Yeah.
I pretend like I'm not, but I'm totally
same.
Like, don't even look at my man, girl.
I love it. And I'm like, you know what? That's kind of a good thing. That means that I'm still into you. If I didn't get jealous,
that's
then
so true.
Maybe I wouldn't really like you that much, I guess. I don't know.
That's so true.
Okay, we're going to do some hot take questions. I'll do 3 and you do 3.
Okay.
That's so funny. I like that he's like, you're the same way.
He's like, don't leave that part out, girl.
Okay, I'll go first. We'll start off easy. Okay. The smell of coffee is bad. Agree or disagree?
The smell of coffee is bad? I disagree.
Yeah, I'm like, give it to me all day.
Yes. I would just like let coffee roll just to smell it, not even have to drink it.
Yeah, I know. Somebody asked me too the other day, I said, this coffee's strong. And they were like, how do you know the coffee's strong? And I was like, the bean, like the taste of it. You know, I feel like the smell also can give off that vibe, whether it's strong or not.
Yes.
I love a coffee shop smell.
I don't trust anybody who doesn't love the smell of coffee.
I know.
Is it my turn?
Yeah.
Okay. Ooh, this is a good one. Cancel culture has gotten out of hand? Yes or no?
You answer first.
I think it has gotten out of hand. Everybody wants to cancel everybody.
For every little thing.
Yeah, I'm like, people are human beings. Let us be.
Yeah, I'm like, people will slip up. People make mistakes. And also, you are not perfect, you know? Like, so, yeah.
I feel like people expect you to be that, though.
Yeah, I think they do, especially with social media. But it's like, lay off, guys. Again, get a hobby.
Yeah, seriously.
Okay. Oh, here's one. You shouldn't hook up on the first date. Uh-oh.
You shouldn't hook up on the first date.
I'm like, I feel like you should do whatever you want to do. And if a hookup is there, then hook up.
I agree.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to hook up with my husband the first date.
And that's why you married him.
Exactly. But you know what? He was so nice. And he's like, no, we're not going to do that.
Very mindful.
Very
respectful.
Yes. That's how I knew he was the one. I was like, oh, you're not trying to take advantage of me?
Yeah.
I'm going to marry you.
I love it. I love how real you're being about it, though. Yeah. Like,
it was me trying to take advantage of him.
You can talk too. He's like sign languaging back there.
Women are kinder than men.
Not all the time. Not all the time.
I agree.
I think
Women can
sometimes
be mean.
some women are very mean, actually.
Uh,
Like, yeah, probably more often than not, men are kinder,
I would think so.
right?
I mean, those are the experiences that I've had.
Me too.
I've only met more mean women than I have men.
Same.
Yeah.
I almost feel like men walk on eggshells. They're afraid to be mean, so they like can't be mean.
Yes.
Women are just like, yeah, catty.
Yes. There's just no filter with women.
Yeah.
I don't get that.
Ugh, women. I know.
Us being women.
I know. I'm
Women.
like, ugh, women. Okay. Pretty privilege is real.
Pretty privilege is real.
Yeah,
It is
I
real.
think it is too. It's unfair, but it's real.
Very much so. And I'm not saying that I'm pretty. I'm just saying, like, I've seen where
You're pretty.
Thank you.
I'm like, let's be real.
I feel like a lot of pretty women get a free pass.
I think so too.
But it's like, I mean, we can't blame them.
Yeah.
They didn't ask to look that way.
You're like, I didn't ask to be born pretty. No, I'll give like an example. Pretty privilege is real, but in this one instance, and I'm not saying I'm pretty, but like I tried to use being a woman to my advantage. I did get stopped one time, and the officer was like, do you know how fast you were going? And I was like, no. And he's like, you have 3 speedometers on your car. Like, how do you not know? And I was like, I wasn't looking at any of them, I guess. I'm so sorry, blah, 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 right? And I got a ticket, and he walks away and he's like, have a good day, sir. I'm like, I am not a man, you know? So I'm like, in that case, pretty privilege was not a thing. So
It didn't work.
It didn't work.
He was gay. That's why.
I know. That's always the answer, right? It's
Yeah.
like, whatever.
Like, you don't like me? Oh, you're gay.
That's funny.
Okay, arguments actually bring you closer in a relationship.
I think so.
I agree.
I think so. I think you have to argue. Like,
Yes, and I feel like you learn something from every argument.
you do. Yeah. Even if you're wrong, you learn why you were wrong.
Yeah, you have great makeout sessions after an argument.
Yeah, exactly. Makeup, it's a thing. Yeah, no, I think so. If you didn't argue, I think that would be a sign of a problem.
It would, because I feel like when you argue, the whole point of an argument is really you're just trying to get your point across, or you're
Yeah.
trying to be heard. If you no longer want to be heard, then I don't think you want to be in it anymore.
Relationship, yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So if your lady is arguing with you, she still loves you.
If she's jealous, she loves you.
Even more.
She's
Even
into
more.
you. Oh my goodness. No, I love that. Well, thank you so much for having this conversation.
Yes, thank you for having me. You are such a beautiful person, inside and out. And I wish you nothing but more success in your badass podcast.
Oh,
Yeah.
stop. No, you. Let's trade compliments right now, right?
Yes,
No,
just
no,
throwing
I know, I'm like,
compliments at each
you. No, I
You're
love
pretty.
this.
No,
No,
you're
you're pretty. You're privileged. No, I'm just kidding. No, but for real, I do wish you nothing but success. I just love the content. Keep turning it out. You're so entertaining.
Thank you.
And whatever hate that people are giving to you, it's more of a reflection on them. They've got too much time on their hands. They're going through something. Like, you keep doing you.
Thank you.
Keep promoting that business, and I hope that it flourishes even more so than it already has. You're only going to keep going up from here. So
Thank you so much.
yes, full circle moment. Again, Andy tells me don't talk about high school, but like, how can I not? Look where we've come.
Yep.
You
And
know?
you literally look the same.
Likewise, I'm like, you don't age.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
Andy doesn't either. He looks the same too.
Yeah, no, I think so
That's
too.
crazy.
Yeah.
Y'all have good genes.
Yeah, no, it's crazy. But anyway, okay. It's not about us. It's about you. Where can people find you on social media?
So you can follow me on TikTok, Facebook, and Instagram, and my handle is Motivate Me Ashley.
All right, get ready to get yourself motivated. Make sure that you go follow her, like all of her stuff, support our girl here, and make sure that you're ordering some of her VidaSlim products, okay? Also, make sure that you follow, like, share, subscribe, do all the things for Lady on the Street podcast. I'm so excited if you made it to this part of the episode because, hello, you got to know her. So we'll be back next week with another one. Thank you so much for listening and watching. See you next time. Bye.